In this video, we're going to look at how to actually set up classes in your ALEKS account. Now, my screen might look a little bit different from yours, but the dashboard will look exactly the same. I just have a few more rights to edit things than the teachers do. Where you'll want to do most of your business with adding classes is under this instructor administration. And it gives you this drop-down list where you see you can add things to your account, you can add new classes, you can see your class list, see a student roster. I'm going to go through how you can set up a class and then easily have the students join that class with a class code. So the first thing we're going to need to do is hit new class. And it brings us to this page. Well, we don't have anything to copy and we don't have a class code to copy from the institution, so we're going to create a new class. From there, you're going to do the drop down. I'm going to select my name. Since for this example, I'll be the instructor. And then the course product. This is the actual class that your students are taking. So more than likely in high school, you're looking at Integrated Math 1, Integrated Math 2, something along that lines. If you have questions, you can email me about which class fits your curriculum, but more than likely you can figure out which class matches up. So I'm going to choose Integrated Math 1. I'm going to select the grade that my students are mostly 9th grade. On that one, it doesn't necessarily matter because it's going to pull curriculum from Integrated Math 1, not from anything to do with 9th grade. So even if you have 10th or 11th graders in your class, it's okay. And then I'm going to name it, so I want to name it Math 1. And then this is optional, but I would suggest doing this so you can keep track of it. I'm going to call this first period. And then the start date, you can really start at any time. I'm going to start it actually for the 24th, which would be the first day for the students. And then let's say I want to go until January 8th. Now that's not the last day of the semester. I would suggest setting it for the last day of the semester. And then leave this checkbox checked. Automatically archive this class after the end date. That means it will automatically deactivate that class once you set the end date. So you might want to set the end date a few days after the semester ends if you're wanting to go back in there and actually look at some of the things that they did. Subscription length. That is going to be K-12 12 month. That is the subscription that Stanley County Schools has purchased. Now, for these things, quick tables, any of that, you don't necessarily have to do anything right now. But down here at the bottom, if you want to provide your kids with a graphing calculator in ALEKS, so it'll pull up an actual graphing calculator on their screen, you can leave this checkbox unchecked. But if you would like to give them the option to use their calculator that they have with them on times, but then be able to have them do non-calculator active things later, then you're going to need to check this. So I'm going to go ahead and check it because I want my students to use their own calculator and I want to control that. So I'm going to create a new class. So now it tells me that it's complete, everything's done. It actually takes me to the class, and guess what? I don't have any assignments or anything done. Now this is adapted curriculum, so there aren't really things you have to assign them, and we'll go over at a later date how all this works. But really, the class will run itself once the students start. If you'll notice, there is a class code up here. It says class code and then all those letters. That's how your students are actually going to join. I'll show the screen in just a minute with what that's going to look like for the students. But if we go back up here to class administration, we can go down here and see class summary. Let's see here. That pulls up this screen right here, which makes it a little bit easier for me to see my class code. To be honest, it's hard to see that for me because the letters are small. This makes it a little bit easier for me to see. And what I would suggest is do not post this onto your web page. Put it up in your class because there are a limited number of these codes available. So after they're gone, they're gone. Now I can go in there and you can go in there and take kids off the roll that don't need to be on there, but just be careful who you give the class code to because they can join your class. Now the students, whenever they go into your class, you might want to post this link somewhere on your webpage, but it's just aleks.com. This is what they'll be directed to. And everybody's going to be a new student, so they'll look at that new student, that yellow bar, and they'll click on Sign Up Now. And it automatically takes you to this place where you have a course code. All they need to do is type in that course code, and then it will take them through the rest of the registration process. And that's really it on your end. Like I said, in another video, I'll go over what all this looks like for students and how the students actually are able to use the curriculum without you having to individually assign things. Or you can choose the option of individually assigning things to certain students.